Hello and welcome back. My apologies for it being near 2 weeks without filling you guys in. As you can see, my background has changed. I'm pretty sure I haven't given you guys a tour of the place, so let's take a moment for you to see our new apartment. I realized I never gave a tour of our new apartment, so here's going up the stairs. Hello, in my PJs. Okay, and then you come to the den. Sorry, this stuff needs to be returned. This is our den. These rugs are like getting hung on the walls. There's the den. Look at that cute couple. Scotland. Then here is this is my desk area. This is a Ramadan thing. I'm cleaning some of the tablecloths. Dining space. Something's gonna go on that wall too. We don't like that piece of artwork. I have clothes that are about to go in to be the drying rack. We got this. Isn't it beautiful? Those are getting hung up here. This is the kitchen area. Kitchen. We made cupcakes for a party last night. Making sweet potato casserole tonight. Shout out to Lisa Hart for the recipe. Shout out to Mom for the Easter. Then you come down and you get to the guest bathroom. I really feel like I've shown you guys this stuff, but there's the guest bathroom. This is Robert's room. So all of his stuff is in here and in the closet right there. Then this is the master bedroom. Dun dun. This is our space. Hello. My closet, my decorations. Our washing machine's right there, working its little brain out. And then this is the master bathroom, which it has a funny smell, like all the time. So we constantly keep the fan on because the water smells weird. Okay, that's it. Absolutely riveting, I'm sure. As you notice, it is a skosh smaller, but that is okay. We are really feeling our space. We've been moved in for like about a week and a half now, so hold on, I gotta get my little note card out. So we feel pretty moved in. We ended up moving that first weekend in April, so right at Brooks and Abby's birthday. Happy late birthday again. Our friend Jake, my friend Jake, I mean, he's our friend, but he's my friend. He's actually born the day before me. How cool is that? Like in life, like 1996, February 7th, but in Wisconsin. He's a pilot. He's goofy. But he came, he has a car, so he drove and he like piled all our stuff. And I told him it was only gonna take like 10 minutes. Not really. I was like, probably an hour max. Like, we don't have that much stuff. And then 4.5 hours later, after he like heavy lifted all of our stuff up a flight of stairs, as you saw, we were done. So I did end up making him dinner, not that night, but the next night, because I felt bad that I was like forcing him to help us move. Like his whole Saturday was just gone. But it was really nice for him to help like that. And we got moved in, and it was faster than Robert and I carting our stuff. I mean, we're on the opposite side of the compound now. We're in zone 7. So we're a little further away from everything, but it feels a little bit more private. We're not having to like pass other people. You know, we've got our own space. There's technically someone below us, but I don't ever hear them really. So, oh well. Speaking of dinners, I've got to experiment and make all these different dinners. It's so much fun. Robert really likes my Greek chicken. It's made with Greek yogurt, which is why it's Greek chicken. Although at Mary Clyde's wedding, some guy was like, "Oh, what do you like to cook?" And I was like, "Oh, I really like to cook Greek food." And he was like, "I'm Greek," and then started saying like all these Greek words, and I was like, "No, I don't know what you're saying." that was not what I meant. I just cook the recipes I Google because they love chicken here and lamb. I don't do the lamb, so I cook a lot of chicken for Robert. And if we go out to eat, lamb, whatever. But I'm not gonna cook lamb. That's kind of creepy. But we cooked for Jake. I cooked shish kebabs. Robert begged for the Greek chicken, but they were out of regular Greek yogurt. All they had was vanilla, and I didn't think vanilla would taste good on chicken. But I made a spaghetti dish, or not spaghetti. Well, it was spaghetti noodles, but it was like a creamy marinara, and so you like stirred it all in together, and it was like this big pot of like delicious orange noodles with like onions and peppers. Oh, it was delicious. Anyway, I'm getting a lot of fun cooking time. I'm getting to experiment. Like tonight we're having a sweet potato casserole. Shout out to Lisa Hart. Although they don't have marshmallows because it's pig something and there's pig. So it's not gonna be just like candy, but it'll be close enough. So we're having like a garlic chicken with sweet potatoes and some peppers and onions, the fun stuff. Maybe a zucchini. I haven't really decided if I want to sprinkle a zuc in there yet. Trying to get Robert beefed up. He rides like the bike for like 45 minutes every day. So gotta get them beefed up. Anyway, moving on. We moved into this lovely abode. I'm in the master bedroom right now. And let's see. Then we went to the souk, like an old market, with Jake and our two other friends, Kirk and Jeff. They all live on this compound. They all work for the same company that they're weather pilots. They've explained it to me twice, and I just had to be like, I don't know. Sounds good. You guys are awesome. But he has a car. Jake has a car. So Jake drove us all to the souk, this old market. I actually kind of felt really cool. It's like, I was like this tiny girl in the middle, and then there's the 4 boys on, like, 2 boys in front, 2 boys in the back. I felt like I had bodyguards. Like, I'm so cool. I need bodyguards. I'm so important. But we went to the little market, and I got like a mortar and pestle, where you grind up spices. So hoping to use that, not tonight, but next Monday. My next opportunity to cook is Monday. So next Monday, I'm hoping to like grind some spices. I made an Iraqi chicken, like one of the first meals I made here from one of the cookbooks I was given for Christmas. But I didn't have any way to grind the spices, so there was just like clumps of all these different spices. So now I have a way to grind it, so I'm very excited. But anyway, after the souk, we went to this Lebanese restaurant. It was really funny. So Robert speaks Arabic, and all the guys were like thrilled that they had someone who speaks Arabic because they don't speak Arabic. And people here speak English, but it's not always like perfect English, and so it's easier to bridge that gap with Robert speaking Arabic. And so Robert's ordering for everybody, and the guy at the restaurant keeps like adding things to things to our order. And Robert's like, "Oh no, like we didn't want that." And he was like, "You'll like it." And Robert's like, "No, we don't want to order that. Like we do not want that." And he's like, "No, it's good. You need more food." And Robert's like, "We don't want that." So Robert and this guy are arguing in Arabic, and everyone at the table is just kind of like, "We don't know what's going on. All we know is they're arguing." And then they bring out the food, and they bring out like the waiter's tray. They bring out like 4 of it. And our table's not very big. Like I'm touching knees with the person across from me. And they just keep piling on and piling on and piling on. And Jake is sitting next to me and on like at the head of the table. And because they're afraid of heights. The pilots are afraid of heights. And so where Robert is like, it's a glass wall and you can like see down because we're on like the 3rd story. No. So they all sat on the other end. So Jake got lamb with rice, and it was like tied in this little like bread sack. And so he like went ahead and untied it and like made himself a plate because we had plates. And the guy was furious and was like, no, and like came over and like took Jake's plate from him and like took his silverware and was like started shredding the lamb for him and like mixing it together and like poured this gravy sauce on it. And Jake just kind of sat there. And then he like grabbed this little bowl of like nuts, assorted nuts, like sesame seeds and almonds and walnuts and cashews. And was like getting ready to pour it on there. And Jake was like, "Oh, no, thank you. Like, no nuts. La means L-A means no. No nuts, no nuts." And the guy was like, yeah, nuts. And he was like, no nuts, no. And so the guy was trying to pour the nuts, and Jake was trying to cover his meal. So it was like this little dance where like everywhere the guy's hand went, Jake's hand like tried to cover it up. And he was like, no. And finally he was like, bad, I will die. And Robert was like, he's allergic, like he'll die in Arabic. And the guy was like, "Ruh," and just like stormed away. And we never saw him again. He never came back. He was so mad, just stormed off. But I was crying laughing because the whole encounter lasted like 2.5 minutes. Like it was long. It wasn't just like, no, thank you. And then he walked away. Like they did this maneuver for a solid 45 seconds. And I was crying laughing. It was quite funny. But it was a good deal. It was a good dinner. We had like all this assortment of Arabic food. Or Lebanese food, I should say. It was delicious. We enjoyed it. And then the next night we ended up going back to not the same Lebanese restaurant, but another Lebanese restaurant with the friends that Robert made me while I was gone, the Spaniards. They're our age, maybe a little bit older. I actually don't remember. And they're really sweet. There's an Italian married to a Spaniard, and then a Spaniard married to a Spaniard, and then a random Spanish man named Manuel. Starts with an M. He hurt his hand. He hurt his hand, and he sat like in the middle. But Carlo, the Italian, and Robert get along really well. David, the Spaniard's really quiet. And then the girl sat by me, and I tried to practice some Spanish. It was very embarrassing. They had chicken soup, like cream of chicken soup. Almost what you'd think a chicken and dumpling, minus the dumplings. But at the first Lebanese restaurant with the boys, it was much better because it had vegetables like celery and carrots and potatoes. But then the second one, it didn't. It just was like cream and chicken. It was still good. It was sweet. A lot of Arabic food is flavorful, but not like full of spices in that it's flavorful, not spicy. So Robert's thriving because it's got a lot of flavor. It's not like burning his mouth. But it was fun. We went there and it was a good time. And then we all rode back together. They have like this big Miguel, whichever one his name is. I feel bad. He has like a big Sequoia, like a new model Sequoia that we all piled into and rode back. But then, let's see, Ramadan started, so everyone at Robert's office is grumpy because they're going through coffee withdrawals. Robert eats his lunch in the parking garage because he feels bad, and it's always a sandwich because he doesn't want to cook something, like to heat something up. So he doesn't eat our leftovers at work anymore because he doesn't want it to smell good, which is very thoughtful of him. So I try to make him a beefy sandwich. Obviously not with beef, but like turkey, and it's got turkey and spinach and mayonnaise and cheese. I'm like, you gotta eat as much as you can. You gotta have fuel, and a bunch of veggies and fruits and such. Anyway, after Ramadan when fasting ends, it's called Iftar. So like when final prayer or a prayer happens in sunset, and they can eat after their fast. You like do like a big family dinner. So we had one. Robert's friend Faisal from work, or our friend Faisal from work, works with you, and he had come to the compound to play soccer with some of his friends who live here, I guess. And we invited him over, and then I invited the 3 boys over, and I made them like a big, I called it Asian night, just because we had leftover rice from the shish kebab night. So we had like this big, like Asian meal. So we had rice, corn, because I needed a vegetable, corn, stir-fried chicken with broccoli. It was actually sweet chili chicken, but we're calling it stir-fry. With broccoli, and then steak tips with mushrooms, and obviously soy sauce, with rice. And then brownies with ice cream as dessert, you know. I'm pretty much... Oh, and I had chips and salsa and fruit salad as a delicious starter. Although, we're not sure... Like, I cut up fruit for the fruit salad, but I also got, like, a can of, like, sweetened fruit, like fruit and syrup, you know, so that, like, there was some sweetness. Because the strawberries here that are fresh aren't very sweet. Because they probably have to travel from, you know, far away. So I, like, wanted a little bit of, like, syrupy sweetness in there. And there was, like, one mysterious fruit that was, like, kind of clear. It was like see-through fruit. We weren't sure what it was, so we just kind of pushed all those to one side. Jake kept looking at it, trying to figure out, like, maybe it's a coconut, maybe it's a star fruit. We had everybody, and Jake brought 2 chairs from his house in his car. We, like, set up, and we turned my desk that you saw, we turned it sideways so that we could all fit together, and we all ate together, and none of us fast, and Faisal doesn't fast, but we all still pretended like we had so that we could, you know, break the fast together as a family. And then we went the next night, so we had like a lot of like back to back social interactions. So then the next night we went to this like late night party in the diplomatic quarter with Joseph and Manal. Sorry, that was my phone. With Joseph and his girlfriend Manal, and it was like, well, before that we went on a walk with one of Robert's friends from the UN. He's adorable. There's pictures of us. We look cute. We like went on a walk and then went to our favorite pizza place, La Rustica, in the DQ. You can't go to the DQ without eating at the pizza place. That's what we're doing. I'm doing Thursday with the boys while Robert goes to a business meeting. Is we're going to get La Rustica because they've never had it, and that feels like a cardinal sin not to have had this pizza. And they all leave soon, so like gotta have that pizza. Plus, I'm tired of chicken. I need like just a good grub, you know, like a big grub. So we're going for pizza. But anyway, we went on this like long walk through the diplomatic quarter with this man, and it was lovely. He showed us like the secret path. It was cool. Lots of bees. Surprisingly, a lot of bees. But then after that, since we were already in the DQ, Robert's friend Joseph and his girlfriend were like, "Come to this party," and we did, and we stayed till like 11. I was like, I am bushed. Like I've got to go to bed. So we didn't do that. Excuse me. So we took a couple nights off because that's a lot. Like, that is a lot. But then we had a dinner with, so right when you break fast, it's called Iftar. And then that's like 6 to 8, I guess. I don't really know. And then from 10 to like, anywhere from 8 to 2, 10 to 4 p.m. to a.m. is like sahur. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's like you eat like one last big meal before like morning prayer, and then you go to sleep, and then you go to work. Like one last big meal before you fast again. And so our friend May, she texted us and was like, I want to do this, and like sent a link, and it was like this date farm. It was like 35 minutes outside of Riyadh. And so Robert drove, he drove to this date farm, picked up May, and it was really cool. They'd like made, so it was like all these tiny little date palms, and they like made paths and like lit up paths in between all the date palms, and then they cleared out like 3 areas and had like a tent, like a Bedouin style tent with like musical instruments and chairs and sofas and like rugs everywhere, and then on outside was like foosball and ping pong and stuff, and then there was an area that was like a coffee shop, so it had like these like bench seatings and like little cafe things with like coffee, and then the other area was like a communal kitchen. So you like walked over and it was like all these huge long tables, kind of like Mamma Mia tables, like you think of like string lights and like wooden tables with wooden chairs, and then they just like spread all this food out. And we were there from 10. We were the first ones there at 10. And we were the last ones to leave at like 3:45. So we didn't end up going to bed until like 4:45 that night. We were tired. Like I was unwell. I had to cancel my tutoring for the next day because, by the way, I have a tutoring job. I was unwell, so I had to. The food was good, but it did not sit well with LAB. So I ended up having to postpone. But I have a tutoring job. He's lovely. He goes to the British school. My student does. We work together 3 times a week. And I got an online tutoring job with a company that tutors in English language for people who are trying to learn. So that should be good too. They have some stuff that's like local here in Riyadh, but since COVID, Riyadh said no, you have to be online, which is fine by me. So let me think. What else? We went to dinner with one of Mr. Grantland's college friends. He's the grade below Mr. Grantland at the Citadel. His kids are so cute. They're 8 and 6. I think. Yes. Maybe 9 and 7. They're adorable, and they were very well spoken and very cute. The littlest one was cold, so he wore my sweater all night, but it came like very far past his hand, so we like rolled him up. We did rock, paper, scissors. He taught me black hole and rock. Black hole swallows everything except for paper because paper can stuff in the black hole. You learn so many new things when you hang out with children. But it was good. We went to a pizza place that we have in the compound, but outside the compound. It was like right outside in that like shopping center. And they had a variety of things for Ramadan. So I got the spaghetti and meatballs, and it was delish. Robert got chicken parm, yeah. And it was nice. It was sweet. It was good to see some kiddos. You know, I miss my kiddos. And then last night, we went to an iftar. We broke fast with Faisal and his girlfriend, and like all their friends at one of her friends' house, like apartment house, across town. And it was, we were expecting, like a couple people, and they had said like, oh, bring a dish from your country. So I was thinking, okay, there's going to be like a lot of people from different countries here, like, because I was like, oh, we can make spaghetti, like stirred spaghetti. And he was like, no, like, what if there's an Italian? I'm like, you're right. So we were going to make sweet potato casserole, but they didn't have marshmallows. And I didn't really want them to have one without marshmallows. You know, like, this is your first sweet potato casserole. Gotta have marshmallows. So I made dessert instead, because we were pinched for time because I had tutoring yesterday. But then we got there, and it was like 1 million people, like so many people, and they were all Arabic. Like, they were all like Saudi or like the Middle East area, and they all spoke Arabic and English, but they spoke mostly Arabic. So Robert had a good time practicing, like listening to all the different dialects and accents and slang terms, and I just smiled and was a lovely wallflower the whole time. But let me think. Let's see. Tonight we're going to a concert, and it's like, I think they called it like modern funk or something, or like Arabic funk, something with funk. I don't know what, but I'm sure it's going to be a blast regardless. Let me think. I think that's pretty much everything. The 2 Spanish girls, they were like, we work out and go to the pool every day. You should come with us. And I was like, oh, I work out and go to the pool every day. But they work out at 8:30. That doesn't suit me. I wake up at that point, maybe a little later, like 9. But then I like do stuff around the house. You know, like it's 11:30 and I'm like, I like just finished vacuuming. I've got a load of laundry and I did all the dishes. I'm like preparing for dinner, making a grocery list of things I need to get. So can't go then. And then they don't go to the pool till like 4 and I start tutoring at 4. So I'm like, I am not going to get to do this. But that's okay because on the weekends we all lay out together. So that's fun. I think that's it. I think that's everything. Robert, we're not going to Cairo anymore because Robert has to go to America for a conference. No, for a, what is it called? Not conference. When you retreat. They usually go to the Green Bar, but they're not this year. They're just going to the office, which is boring. But he gets to meet Dan, which he's really excited about. So he goes to America next weekend. So I've got a week by myself, and it's the last week actually that the boys, the like fly boys, are here. Fly boys. And so they are going to entertain me. We're going to go to dinner a couple times. And they're always by the pool because they haven't actually gotten to fly yet, and they've been here since January. So we chill by the pool around like 2:30. Like we've got a sketch. So yeah, Robert goes to America, to DC, and then he comes back, and we go to Scotland. Scotland's our next big trip in May, and I'm so excited, and I've already got like all these things lined up to see all my friends. Really all one friend, David. But Robert's got all this stuff lined up to see his band, and Callum's my friend. I can say that. Callum's my friend. So we're very excited. And we're thinking we're flying into London and driving up, and so we're gonna maybe see one of my dad's friend's moms lives in London, and she's adorable. And so she's like, you have to come have tea. And we're like, of course. I don't even drink tea, but I would love to sit with you and drink your tea, or at least sniff your tea. So, and we went to dinner the other night, and Robert and I both like kind of got food poisoning, but not really, like not all the way. We went to a restaurant with the boys that was like, we left our compound, but like walked across the street, and it was there. But there was like no one there, which is, you know, if people are fasting and then it's time to eat dinner and no one's at that restaurant. But I mean, the rice was good. And it was like a nice little private space, but it was not the best. I tried lamb. No, I tried goat. I tried groat, and it was not good. Not good goat. But I think that's everything for now. We've got a lot coming up this weekend. Like we've got social events every single day until Monday. So the next vlog, when Robert's gone, will be, I'm sure, packed. Just absolutely packed. So enjoy the few photos, surprisingly. And I will see you guys probably in a week. Bye! Also, you'll see a video where I'm like filming outside of the car. That was when we were coming back from IKEA round 2. And I was like, oh, horses. Robert had told me to film because when we passed the first time, like we had to make a U-turn, there was a man on camelback just like hauling booty down the road. And so that's what he was trying to get me to catch, but excuse me, he went like behind a building. So all you see is the horses, but just know that behind that fence that I was filming was a man, like, in full, pretty colored regalia, just, like, hauling booty on a camel in, like, the road. So much fun. Oh, there's a camera. Whoops, sorry.
It's an American board game.
Oh, those are horses. Horses. Oh look.
We got it.
Another friend.
We got another walker.
Another walker.
Come on.
Oh look, a cat. Oh look, another cat.
Just going on a walk.
Come on, my friend. Come on. Come on.
Just going on a walk. Come on. 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 All he needs is a leash. Come on.